Okay, so it's been a little while since I've done a talk to the camera type thing. So today, what do I want to talk about today? I want to talk about pricing people out of tattooing, because what it seems to me is there's been a big trend, especially in London. I don't know if it goes for the rest of the country, but in London, there's been a big trend for really raising prices, especially right now when people are struggling for money. Now, I sort of feel like maybe a lot of tattooists are doing that because at this moment in time, everyone in London, especially, I can't speak for the rest of the country or the rest of the world, seems to not have as much work as they would do normally. All of the people, everyone who's really well known, down to people who are not very known at all. Walk-in shops seem to have less work because most people don't have that much money because everything costs a huge amount. So as a reaction to this, there seems to be a lot of tattooists who've bumped up their prices. And I think there's a point, like I understand why people are doing it, but there has to come a point where you look at what you're doing and go, okay, am I pricing a lot of people out, especially in tattooing, which is a working class form of art. It comes from the working classes. And one thing that I think about this, I think my perspective, because I've done a lot of stuff where I've talked about this on Instagram, and I've talked about it a lot in posts and things like that. And I think one thing that doesn't come across is necessarily why I feel the way I feel. So the background that I'm from, I didn't have a lot of money growing up. Like, I'm not saying that I had the hardest time or anything like that. There's a lot of people who would have had a harder time than me, but I know that also at the same time, there's a lot more people who would have had a better time. Anyway, when I first started getting interested in tattooing, I had jobs that didn't pay very much, and I wanted to get tattooed, and what I would have to do is I would have to save up. And I don't think there's anything so much wrong with that, because there is a value with tattooing where it's not like buying shoes. You're going to buy shoes and in 6 months' time they're going to fall apart and you're going to need to get new shoes, or even if you take care of your shoes, they're going to be out of season and you're going to need to get new ones. But with tattooing, it's something you have for life. So I understand that you should need to pay some amount of money that's a decent amount of money for it. But I think one thing that seems to be happening now is it seems to have become something where the people that were like me when I was growing up, there's no way it's even remotely affordable for those people anymore. And I think that's not good. I don't think tattoos should be like, there's some people who think that they should be able to get a tattoo for 20 quid. I think that's ridiculous. I don't think that's right at all. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of tattooists now, especially in London, who charge like 1,500 for an entire day of tattooing, and maybe they get one tattoo done in that time that's like this big. That to me is obscene. That's, for want of a better term, taking the out of people. So also within this, I want to make real clear that, like I was mentioning, I'm not from wealth. I'm from quite a working class background with not a lot of money. And one of the things that I love about tattooing is tattooing has taken me out of that circumstance. It's given me an opportunity to go and work around the world and go to loads of different countries, and whilst being in loads of different countries, see different cultures and meet people who I'd have never met. And for me, it's been an incredible thing. And part of that for working class people is getting tattooed first off. I don't know if I'd have ever considered being a tattooist if I hadn't already been tattooed a few times beforehand. So I think possibly why I'm so passionate about this is because of my background and looking at the situation that I grew up in. If I wasn't a part of tattooing, I would have gone nowhere, done nothing. I would still be from a very small town with very little opportunities, working in a factory. I didn't go to a good school. I didn't get a good education. I didn't start from a good starting point of money-wise. Like, my family are great, so I'm not saying anything to do with that. Like, obviously there was people who I grew up with who had very broken families, and they were in a worse situation to start off with than I was. But financially, I wasn't at a great point. And in this country, the way that everything works is, if you're from a good financial starting point, you've got a lot more opportunity open to you. So I think, like I say, one of the reasons I'm so passionate about this is because I'm from a very working class background, and I would like very working class people to still be a part of tattooing and still be included in it and still have a space for them.